Hello friends, I'm going to explain how to use NearPod for making the teaching material, and it is really very useful, especially when you don't have a flash or a pen drive to use and it works online. Okay, so let's start it. Before we proceed, I just want to tell one more thing, that the NearPod can be shared with the students and the students can join the lesson with a code. Okay, so if you give the link to them, that I will be explaining later. So right now I am logging in with my Google account, so you don't have to actually create anything if you have already got a Google account. Okay, so I already have something here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of it. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy by clicking on duplicate. Okay, so it is not accepting, so I'll just explain what is here. Fine, so let me go to the edit. Fine, so for the first thing which we do generally is the settings part. So when I go to the settings, you can actually change the name of the lesson. You can put the details, the grade and the subject. Okay, once you submit, it takes all your details and then you can start working. So I generally start with a lesson opener. Then there is national anthem. Wherever you are living, whichever country you are living, you can include the national anthem to just get your students involved. And then I start the beginning of my day by putting a slide like this, and then I take a poll where the students share how or what are they feeling. Okay, so let's start with something called collaborative board. This is what I have made as a slide for collaborative board. So we have the options to add the new slides in NearPod, which I will be explaining slowly to you. Okay, so let me go just down. You have so many options here. If you right click anywhere, or if it's simple adding, so you see there is add slide. Let me explain what are the options. So you have two options basically. You have add activity and you have add content. So in contents, as you can see, there is a possibility of adding a direct video, slide, NearPod 3D, simulations, field trips, BBC videos, sway, slideshow, audio, PDF viewer and web content. And I generally use most of them very often. Second thing which I have is the adding of activities. So they are really wonderful in adding varieties of activities where you can involve your students and then they can take real good interest in your class. So the very common thing which I use is time to climb. It is just like a quiz. I will be explaining that to you, and in fact will show you one. And then there are open-ended questions which you can raise as an activity. Then there is matching pair, quiz, flip grid, draw it, collaborative board, poll, fill in the blanks and memory test. So you see a varieties of possibilities for the activities to be added. I am explaining one of these everywhere. So for example, I have added the web content here. So if I open the slide to you, you see when you open web content page, you just have to add a link here. So whenever you have a link like this during the class, you just have to click on test this link and the link will open directly. For example, I have used a live worksheet here. So when I click on test this link, this live worksheet directly opens for me, and then you can click and copy this link and can share with your friend, with your students, and then you can ask them to complete it within a given time. I hope it is very clear. Similarly, as I told you, there is a very beautiful activity called time to climb, and let me show you one of that. So here it is. Yes, you can see time to climb. I already made one. So there are some questions here. So there are options of adding multiple choice questions, true false questions and varieties of. For example, you see there is an option of adding question, there is an option of going up and down, and then you have the option of putting timer, you have option of putting pictures to make it more interactive. So whenever you are starting your class, you can actually use your NearPod based on whatever you have finished till that day. I hope it is very clear, and I must tell you a few more interesting aspects of NearPod. As I told you, there is an option of poll, which I generally do during the end of the class to ask them to give the feedback. This is how we add videos. So you can directly click on the here and add slide, and there are additions possible where you can add. You can also directly add the slideshow here. So if you already have a PPT made in your computer or laptop, you can actually put it directly over here. So I have been using NearPod and it works really wonderfully. I hope it is very clear till here. Then there is another very interesting activity which I use, which is draw it. So if you want them to do some matching activity, what you have to do is you can give the instructions here and you can add background picture. So when you start this activity, you will find that the students, each of them, can see it on their screen whenever they are whenever they are entering this NearPod. Okay, so how does it appear to the students? Let's see that, and that would be the final thing for us. So this is my preview. Fine. So when I go to the preview, I have two options. I can share it with my students, as well as I can share it with someone else who wants to use me. So this is how it appears to the students. Okay, so I can just skip this to show them this is how it appears when it is completely formed. So I generally also include a video reflection activity. Then there are open-ended questions. You want to frame any question and then you can just put your students a specific time to complete this activity, and it's upon you. If you are using NearPod as a free subscription, you will have a limit of using it for, say, maybe till 1 GB capacity. And if you have used that capacity and you want to further increase it, you have to go for paid subscriptions. I hope it is very clear. Thank you so much for watching.